Match Week 11 makes its way to Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee, Florida, as Atlanta United 2 takes on Orlando City B. Welcome in. I'm Josh Toll. Orlando City B snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 3-0 win over Inter Miami 2 in a game that saw 3 different goal scorers for OCB, and they got their 3rd clean sheet of the season. Atlanta United are unbeaten in their last 4 games. A win tonight would be the first victory against Orlando City B since April of 2023. This is the 2nd meeting of the season between these two teams. In the first meeting, Orlando City B getting the extra point in kicks. This game, originally scheduled for Friday, moved to Sunday here in Kissimmee, Florida. Lightning prevented us from starting at 7, but we are about to kick. Our starting 11 will begin with Steve Cook and Atlanta United. They will be in a 3-4-3, 5 changes from last game. Jonathan Ransom getting his first start of the season. Came in Togashi, the 31-year-old, up top, got his first career goal in MLS NEXT Pro. He leads the team with 4 assists on the season, which is 2nd best in MLS NEXT Pro. Look for him to link up with Gabriel Wese up front on the right, and Moises Tablante. Tablante was with OCB from 2019 until 2023. Orlando City B, Manuel Goldberg, he'll have his club in a 4-2-3-1. Just 2 changes for OCB. Back in the starting 11 is John Solis. Getting his first start of his MLS NEXT Pro career is Bernardo Ryan. On the left side, the man in the middle, Justin Ellis, player of match week 10 for Orlando City B in the win against Inter Miami 2. He had 2 assists and a goal on the season. He now has 3 goals and 3 assists. He was also making his MLS debut on his 18th birthday just the other week for Orlando City B. But the man up top, Shaq Muhammad, leads the way in scoring for Orlando City. He has 6 goals on the season for the Lions. Lions a chance to get their 2nd straight win, and their 2nd win of the season against Atlanta United. The first one coming via kicks. Atlanta United on the season, 11 points. Meanwhile, Orlando City B, they have 14 points, currently sitting 7th in the standings. Back-to-back seasons, Orlando City has made the playoffs. Familiar faces once again in Orlando City's lineup. The big thing is their back line, the same consistent starters throughout the course of the season. That really builds familiarity as well as chemistry. Our match officials tonight, our head referee, Servando Berna, our first assistant, Kevin Hewitt, our second assistant, Audra Fullen, our 4th official is Eric Lazama. Orlando City B will look to go right on the attack, trying to challenge the young 17-year-old in Jonathan Ransom between the sticks in his first start. Made 2 starts last season for Atlanta United 2. Atlanta United 2 will be in the black kits with the red stripes and black stripes. Meanwhile, Orlando City B in the all-white kits with the purple shorts and purple shoulders. And we are underway from Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee, Florida. And here is Jonathan Ransom, the 17-year-old, getting his first touch. He'll play it all the way down. This will go over the head of Tablante, but chested down by the captain, Armis. He loses possession right away to Colin Gusky. Sloppy field with all the rain that is in the area. Again, over an hour and 20-minute delay due to lightning in the area for these 2 clubs. Sal Massafero getting his 10th start of the season, his 9th start of the season. Last 2 seasons, he was with Austin FC 2, winning a championship with Austin FC back in 2023. Here's Taifi. Taifi earlier this season making his MLS debut against CF Montreal. Does have a goal and assist on the year. Slow roller back to Williams. You can see the ball being sprayed up by the water. Here's Tahir Reed-Brown. Reed-Brown getting his 10th start of the season. U.S. Youth National Team. He's seen action with the U17s and U19s. Williams, mainstay for that back line for Manuel Goldberg. Gusky, 18 years old, and has been with the club for the last 2 seasons. This is played forward to Taifi. Taifi will cut it across as this ball is stabbed down by Mazzaferro. Too heavy of a touch right there by Moises Tablante. Tablante last season with FC Cincinnati. 5 years with OCB, scoring 12 goals in his time with Orlando City B. Orlando City B on the season have scored 14 goals on the year. They've allowed 17. Atlanta United 2 have scored 14 goals. They've allowed 18 on the season. The issue right now for Atlanta is finishing their chances 5th in shots on target with 53. They're 8th in shots with 123. And that was one of the things that Steve Cook talked about. They need to be calm and composed and convert on their chances. They also need to score those unexpected goals. Under pressure right there was Nick Sasak. Sasak in his first season after coming over from Inter Miami 2. Steve Cook talking about putting that final piece together, be better in the opponent's penalty area and be able to score those unexpected goals. Need more calmness and clarity and really need to dial it in. Here's Ransom getting a start for Hibbert. Hibbert was with the first team who plays tonight against FC Cincinnati. That game going on right now. Tablante will backtrack as the Pharaoh. Ransom under some pressure, clips it over to Tablante, but over his head. Atlanta United just one win on the season. That win coming back in April. Unbeaten though in their last 4 games. Pressure here by Togashi, and a poor giveaway. The shot from distance, and that will go in for the opening goal! A poor giveaway by the captain, Carlos Mercado, and Atlanta United 2 capitalize. Here's the pressure by Togashi. Mercado having to play it over, trying to go to Tahiri Brown, trying to go past him. Give a release, he just steps in front, clips it over with the left foot, his 3rd goal of the season. That's the first goal given up in the opening 15 minutes of play for Orlando City B this season. You say getting his 4th start of the season, was a late addition to the starting lineup as this is played over by Mercado. But you see that pressure right there by Atlanta. It's something they were so good at last week against Crown Legacy in the first half of being able to provide that high press, force mistakes. They get the giveaway right there and capitalize. Torrey plays it up. This ball played to Taifi. Taifi cuts it in, and this will find its way out of play for a goal kick. Cook last week talking how he's pleased with the pressure and he's got to be thrilled with a fast start here today. Last week they scored in the 10th minute of play. This week doing it in the 3rd minute. Last week though they had an issue holding on to the lead. It was a late goal in the 90th minute by Javier Armas to tie things up at 2 apiece before they ultimately fell in kicks. This time they'll look to hold on to the lead, see if they can learn from their mistake from last week. For Taifi as it goes in front of him, and Mazzaferro right there for Atlanta United 2. Ransom plays it out. Togashi under pressure by Williams. Sasak. Here's a chance for a throw for the 5 Stripes. Game originally scheduled to be in Kennesaw, Georgia, having to move to Orlando and Kissimmee, Florida. But Steve Cook welcoming the challenges. They are excited to face the adversity. They're not going to make an excuse about having to go on the road, but he really credits his players and how they're composing themselves. Can't praise them enough. but they're committed and they're willing to fight. And even talking with Ronan Wynn about this game, he said the same exact thing as Taifi is offside. You have to love the competitiveness of Atlanta, even with the cards stacked against them. First meeting ended up 2-2 with Orlando City B getting the win in kicks. Talking to Steve Cook about that game, really felt that they controlled the game, but were sloppy on set pieces. Really feels like if they stick to what they do best, move the balls on the flank, switch play, and really challenge Orlando City B when they're in their blocks, they have a great chance. As here's to Blante, unable to get by two defenders. The shot from distance, blocked aside by Mercado. Good look here on this shot attempt. Armas gets right to him. Mercado there gets it with his right hand. She ruled that a goal kick, so they said that Mercado did not get a piece of it. Talking to Steve Cook about the keys, really need to be ready for their counterattack, be secure in possessing the ball in both final areas, and really need to win the set piece game here today. Jonqui gives the ball up for Atlanta United. Manuel Goldberg on this game, talking about the second meeting between these two teams. He's really felt that they've grown as a team. They're playing good right now. They're playing a very solid team and a mature team. He really wants to see his team maintain their mentality. Talking about this game, it's going to be very tactical, and it's going to change at different points in the game. They need to be able to match the aggressiveness here of Atlanta, and their press need to overcome that press early where we saw that first mistake that led to the goal. Talked about transition moments would be big here. Solis pushing up. Looking for Taifi, unable to reach him. To Blante. Now call behind on Orlando City B, and this ball will go back to where Jonqui is getting up from. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Emory Healthcare. Cooper Sanchez getting the start, his 7th start of the season, youngest debut for the second team at 16 years old and 27 days, 15 years old and 27 days. Here is Justin Ellis. Ellis having quite the month. His 18th birthday, makes his debut with the first team against Charlotte FC last month. Golden Boot, 6 goals in the GA Cup for this Orlando City B's U18 side. 2 assists and a goal in the win against Inter Miami 2, earning himself Player of the Week. We say with a solid turn, slots it out wide for Jonqui. Jonqui lays the ball off. Armas will play it out wide. Chance here, looping ball into the box. Solis knocked over. Solis with his 9th start of the season, the 26-year-old out of Colombia. Williams playing it up the gut. Taifi in pursuit, gets the ball first. Taifi with the right to the spot and sent away by Atlanta United. Sanchez. Jonqui drops back and sent away by Braden Dunham. Williams signed with the first team, holds it up. Platts. Solis. Solis with a stutter step works his way into the inner part of the field. Looking for a diagonal ball, instead goes outside to Torrey. Platts will hold it up at the moment. Atlanta right now laying off. Oh, giveaway there by Platts. Orlando City B is saying that wasn't a foul, it's just Mazzaferro losing his footing on the wet surface. Orlando City B, they have had Atlanta United 2's number, unbeaten in their last 6 games against Atlanta. 3 wins, 3 draws in that time. Sanchez. Armas will play it out wide. Foul's going to be called against center back Thomas Williams. And Thomas Williams is going to get our first booking of the game. Thomas Williams signed with the first team, our first booking of the game. Moves the same time with the USU national teams, U16 and U17 sides. Armas wearing the captain's armband here this evening for Atlanta United 2. Carlos Mercado wearing the captain's armband for OCB. Good ball to Wayse, but couldn't bring it down with his first touch. Armas fighting for possession, unable to get it from Torrey. We say the player down right now for Atlanta United. We say with the opening goal officially credited in the 4th minute of play. How about his first start? He got a goal and assist versus Carolina Core, earning himself rising star of the match week. Made his debut earlier against Inter Miami 2. Really good striker to the ball, and we saw that on his goal, but he's also great with the ball at his feet. He can really work himself out of some tight spots as we look back at this foul. Looked like he was just hit in the face there. Just barely. Going right over the top was Ryan. Bernard Ryan getting his first start. 17-year-old came on as a sub last week. Nothing malicious about that challenge right there by Ryan. You say slow to get up. Atlanta United 2 last week drew against Crown Legacy, but fell in kicks this season. Atlanta United, they have 6 draws on the year, just 2 of those where they've earned the extra point. Meanwhile, for Orlando City B, 4 wins on the season. They just had the 1 draw. That 1 draw coming against this Atlanta United side. You say is up and taking a drink of water, and he'll be ready to go. He'll have to come off to the side of the pitch for a second before he's allowed back on. Talked to center back Ronan Wynn this week about this game coming up. Really talking about that last game, getting his first professional goal. Talked about how it was great to get that goal. But really felt like last game it was a very winnable game. We were on top, didn't hold on, but confident in how they play. We talked about this Atlanta side ready here tonight to have the mental attitude to come out here to be able to switch the ball when they need to, but they need to capitalize on their chances and finish them. So it's going to be a different game than what we saw last. Mazzaferro back for Ransom. To Blante, loses possession. Solis, little hesitation to go. Hits by Sanchez. Sanchez able to recover. Solis with a step over, hesitates. Nice chip ball in. Taifi, Solis. Here's Gusky. Quiet start so far here for both Justin Ellis and Shaq Muhammad. Very little opportunity for those two on the ball here so far. Reed Brown, get pressured right there by Weesay. And here is Justin Ellis. Noah Goldberg, high praise for the 18-year-old and what he has done so far this season. He's really grown and matured into his body, but the mental side of things really taking part in his success this season. He's not the same player that they saw 6 months ago and said he won't be in the next 6 months. A player that has really taken his opportunity, and really they just want to continue to help him grow and help elevate him to that next level. Dunham. Shankui. Shankui cuts it across. Togashi drops it off, was looking for Tablante. Sanchez. Patience here for Atlanta United, now going east to west, trying to find some space to work with. OCB creeping forward defensively. Win. Good battle right there. Reed Brown taking advantage, winning the ball back for Orlando City B. Ryan plays in. Here's Muhammad. 6 goals on the season for Muhammad on the year. Muhammad thinking about teeing it up. Slots it out wide. Solis on the edge of the area to the end line. And running out of real estate was Solis. Solis had an opportunity to play that ball across early, tried the hesitation and to just attack the end line to get a late cross, but unable to get a good one. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Gallagher. Dunham, a player that can play in the back line as well as the midfield. Tonight getting started center back. Atlanta United coming out with a 3-4-3 formation. Meanwhile, Orlando City being a 4-2-3-1. Brown turns. Gusky tripped up, draws the foul against Togashi. Reed Brown with the cross, the shot, and that's stopped on the near post. Reed Brown had numbers in the box, trying to go near post. Jonathan Ransom with his first save of the game. 17-year-old getting his first start of the season. Made 2 starts last year for Atlanta United too. Armas, the captain, turns. Pressure from behind. Tablante looking to run. Good challenge from Gusky. Armas on the ball. Playing it out wide. Numbers in the box. Ball shot, deflected. Shankui was wide open on the backside of the box, but Five Stripes not able to get it to him. Ellis looking for Ryan. This will be a foul call against Bernardo Ryan. Six games in total tonight here in MLS Next Pro. Crown Legacy currently up 1-0 against FC Cincinnati 2. How about Makai Joyner, though, on Friday night? 4 goals against Portland Timbers. That's also coming off a game the week before where he had a brace. Now time for the lead league as this is given away to Solis. Solis looking for Mohamed. Mohamed has Torrey inside. And a foul was called against Orlando City B inside the box. Gusky made his first team debut earlier this season against Philadelphia Union. He finds Solis. Taifi. Solis, looping ball. Taifi, blocked away by Mazzaferro. Now a chance here early for Orlando City B. His last touch before went over the inline, so this will be a corner kick for Taifi and company. Has raved about, talking about he's still growing and improving, but really a mentally strong player. He brings different context to the team as this is looped in. Headed up by Platts and over. Good pull in by Taifi. Platts, though, getting underneath. How about this ball in? Platts got square on it, just a little bit high. Gusky. Armas in pursuit. Gusky turns away, plays it back. Ellis slows it down at the moment. Solis, too heavy of a touch. Blante turns inside. Plays it to the circle. Armas. We say the goal scorer. We say good shoulder-to-shoulder action right there against Ryan. We say cuts it in and deflected out by Reed Brown, and a corner coming for Atlanta United. We say showing off some of that skills when the ball is at his feet. Coming up from the back line for Atlanta. Mazzaferro up, also is Dunham. We say plays it in, headed up and out of play, and this will be last touch by Orlando City B. Armas will take his time, talking to Steve Cook about Javier Armas. Really, what's improved this year is his resilience, really becoming more of a leader this season. He has learned how to be a pro from last year to this, what works in MLS Next Pro and what didn't work last year after coming from the college game. Of course, he went to Oregon State. Inward swinging ball, headed up and just over the crossbar. Took a deflection. Last hit off OCB. Good ball right in. And there you can see it go off the shoulder of Reed Brown. Another chance for Weesay here. The delivery, near post. Mohamed has Torrey ahead. Mohamed pushing up. Goes for Taifi. Taifi ahead of everyone, but too heavy of a pass as Ransom will gather it in for Atlanta United. Sanchez to Blante at midfield. We say Torrey did a great job of getting back into position defensively to stop that opportunity by Armas. Armas trying to cut the ball back to Weesay. Last touch by Williams. Could he get back? Williams does, so Atlanta will have to settle for a throw rather than a corner. Dunham, he's committed to play at Furman in the fall. One of 8 academy players that signed with college teams earlier this year for Atlanta. Here's Ronan Wynn. Poor touch right there by Wynn, not on the same page. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Adidas. As Farrow, Armas, scoop ball. Sean Kui at the center of the pitch. Tagashi. Williams on his inside defending. Sanchez. Armas. Armas dialing up from distance and blocked away by Mercado. How about that save right there by OCB's keeper and Mercado. Great strike by the Five Stripes captain and a better save by OCB's captain, Mercado. Mercado on the season coming into the game, 24 saves on the year. He does have 2 clean sheets coming into the contest, but gave up the goal here early in the game to Gabriel Weesay in the 4th minute. That's where we stand right now, 1-0 here in the 32nd minute. Togashi. Sanchez. We say dummy ball. When unable to get to it. This ball played to Jackson Platts. Really a mainstay of Platts and Thomas Williams at the center back positions this year for Manuel Goldberg. Really likes how they work together. The communication very good and how they speak with one another. We like how they also organize the team. Ellis, Torrey, Solis, Taifi back to Solis for Ellis. Ellis with room to work with. Chance here for Muhammad on the turn. Muhammad shot blocked aside. OCB starting to get more active in the attack in third. Muhammad doing a good job attacking the end line. This ball's kicked away. Muhammad leading the club with 6 goals on the season. Back-to-back games that he has scored a goal. He's done that now 3 times on the year. Taifi, high arcing ball, knotted down. Muhammad on the ball, back heel. Call against Torrey. High praise about Torrey and how he's adapted. Really adapted well. Came in late with an injury, but picked up things very quickly. A player that can cover a lot of ground both with and without the ball. And so he's still arguing. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get a yellow card. And so Solis was booked. Trying to back up his teammate. And Torrey got caught. He's just arguing too many times saying, hey, that happened down at the other end as well, and you didn't call it. So second booking of the game going to Orlando City. This ball looped in as the Pharaoh will run out of real estate. Goes down the ground, but goes down the ground too easy. Trying to draw the foul. To Blante, charging up Solis there. Armas, we say, has Togashi inside. We say with a long shot, deflected. To Blante, off balance, and that shot will slice out of play. Safe though, playing with confidence here with another strike from long range. Great power and pace behind that. That shot blocked away by Mercado nearly went into the path of Tablante. Reed Brown, Ellis, Solis for Taifi in the channel. Cuts it across. Tagashi on the run. Platt's in pursuit. Platt's hard challenge. He does a great job of just playing the ball out. Tagashi in his first season in MLS Next Pro, spent his last 10 years in Japan. A professional, that brings a lot of experience here to Atlanta United too. Really shows these younger kids how to be a true pro, how you handle yourself, the mental side of things. Sanchez. Win, slows it up. Saysak, back for Armas. Shankui, deflected, and that nearly went into the path of Atlanta United. Five Stars were just running straight forward. It was Armas making a run. Excuse me, it was Saysak actually making the run. Saysak coming from the right side of the field, nearly got to the ball first. Platt's in the circle. Solis. Ball intended for Taifi. Coming back though is Mazzaferro to intercept the pass. Mazzaferro doing a great job reading that pass that was intended for Taifi. If Taifi can get to that ball, he has a great chance of maybe on a first touch where he can cut to his left, create space to get around Mazzaferro for a good looking shot attempt. Again, frustrated a foul wasn't called. Referee Srongo Bona doing a good job in trying to calm Taifi down. Blante. Split through two defenders. Unable to get around Solis. And Solis called for the foul. So great opportunity now for Atlanta United. Just a couple yards outside the top of the 18-yard box. Solis nearly got back into position and stabbed the ball away, but committed the foul in the process. Three players gathered around the ball for the Five Stripes. Armas, Blante, and Weisei. Orlando City backing up to set up the wall. Ricardo giving some instructions, allowing the first goal in the 4th minute of play. Difficult spot here for OCB. Blante with the left, Armas with the right. Blante last season 3 goals with FC Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Javier Armas last year, he had 7 goals and 2 assists in his first season with Atlanta United too. It'll be Armas with the strike, bending off the post! Had the bend, but just didn't have enough of it. Ball played back in. It was off of Braden Dunham's leg and out of play. But how about that look by Armas? Great strike of the ball. Had the curl, but just could not get enough. Very good chance this game could have been 2-0 in favor of Atlanta United. Reed Brown goes to the ground. We say call for the foul. Steve Cook saying that Reed Brown slipped on the surface. Both teams have had an argument here tonight that a couple players did fall just because of the wet surface from all the rain before the game. Solis has room. Loops it over for Typhy, trying to time his run. Typhy cuts it in, a chance repelled away. Solis pushed over, and this will be a foul by Tagashi, and a chance here now for OCB. Clear foul, and OCB playing quick. Muhammad's shot initially stopped, able to keep it in play. Ellis with the left, to his right. Gets by two defenders, back to his left. Shot blocked aside. Great effort right there by Justin Ellis. You can just see that confidence that he is playing with. And a foul here, and this one will be against OCB. So Typhy called for the foul. Dunham, the player, slow to get up for Atlanta. Shankwi looking for Tagashi. Tagashi chips it in with the right! Back-to-back games for Kamen Tagashi with a goal for Atlanta United! It's just effort right here by Tagashi. Shankwi with a great header back as Platts. Mercado not sure if he wants to come up. Tagashi does not stop, and he gets around the keeper for his second goal of the season. Shankwi doing a great job just playing that ball in to give his striker a chance to get to the ball. 3 minutes of stoppage time will be added on to here in the first half. Talking with Steve Cook about Kamen Tagashi. Great guy, brings a lot of experience, really just so engaged, great leader, but one of those gifted players. You take a look at him, and you can just see what it takes to be a pro. Like I was saying earlier, a great player that these younger kids can learn from, and right there was just purely effort that he brought to get to that ball, to beat Platts to a Mercado, hesitating to go out, and all Tagashi had to do is get to the ball first and just chips it around the keeper. Steve Cook loves his attitude and his pure will that he brings to his club. OCB looking to get one back before the break. United, they've played with leads before in games, but like last week against Crown Legacy, have allowed their opponent to get back into the game. The challenge this week, going to have to come out with the same mental focus in the second half that they have done here in the first half. sent in for Typhy, who did last touch. They're going to say last hit off Williams. Typhy unable to get a piece of the ball. Typhy thought it might have gone off. An Atlanta defender. Solis. Dragged to the ground by Sanchez. To Blante. Torrey in pursuit, on the shoulder, wins the ball back for OCB. Good effort right there by Torrey, getting back in position, just riding the shoulder of Tablante, able to maneuver his way around. Torrey lost his footing, but able to pass it off for Typhy. Typhy to the spot. A chance here for Muhammad. Muhammad turns the shot, blocked aside by Mazzaferro. Now Sasak will send it away, but there is the whistle to close out the first half. Atlanta United getting the first goal in the 4th minute. Gabriel Luis getting the first strike, and then Cayman Togashi with his second goal of the season coming in the 45th minute. Our score at the half is Atlanta United 2, Orlando City 0. First half highlights and a look at our upcoming schedule later. But first, April Marie Aguilar made her way to the land of 10,000 lakes to visit Minnesota United FC 2. She sat down with head coach Jeremy Hall in this week's Coach's Corner.
Welcome to this episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Marie Aguilar. Joining me today is Jeremy Hall, head coach of Minnesota United FC2. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. You've been with the club since its inaugural season in 2022. What does it feel like to you to have been with this organization since its inception?
Yeah, I've been very blessed, to be honest. I've gotten to work with some really good coaches here. I've learned a lot, and then to be able to step into a role as a head coach, I think just from a personal standpoint, I'm still learning and finding myself, and really grateful for the club to give me such a big role at the club. And so I'm really excited to be here, going on year 4, and just looking to continuing the success that we've had so far.
And what ultimately inspired you to even want to become a coach?
Ooh, it's a good question. Just from playing, I've had some really good coaches, some really bad coaches, and I always just felt like, I just want to be able to mentor and be around the guys. You can only play for so long. I still feel like being on the field is the next best thing, and so being able to share some of those experiences, positive and negative, that I've learned, through other coaches, and just being involved in the game, I just felt like I would love to give back. And so I love my time on the field. I love being able to build relationships with the players. I love to help them get to where they ultimately want to be, and play at a high level. And so be able to help share those experiences and be on the field, it's been awesome.
And you mentioned having played professionally, and you did 8 seasons in Major League Soccer. Given your experience as a player, aside from mentoring, what else do you find yourself now implementing into your coaching career?
Just really being myself and just being real. A lot of coaches want to talk tactics, and I think that's a big part of the game, but for me, I talk more of behaviors and being aggressive and playing with intensity, and for me, hating to lose. And so if you can show up every day and try and get better, I think at the end of the day, you give yourself a better chance to be successful, because at this level that we're at, there's a lot of good players, and for me, it's how do you separate yourself? And so I believe just like working hard, winning your individual duels. I like to say just like being a dog on the field. I think that can, really get you into that next level.
And how do you feel like that gives you an advantage, even having been a player, to just become more or build stronger relationships with your players?
Well, I think the relationship piece is soccer aside. It's getting to know these kids and their families and how they're doing in school, and yeah, what are they doing on the weekends away from school, or sorry, away from the field. And so I feel like whether they're playing, whether they're not, whether in a good moment, whether in a bad moment, in the second team space, we have guys coming down, so everybody's headspace is totally different. And so for me, it's just trying to be, I guess, a friend, you know, first and foremost, just somebody that they can confide in. And then when they're on the field, when those relationships are built, I can really push them and try and demand all the other stuff out of them. And so for me, I really pride myself on that.
Lob ball up ahead, shipped over the keeper. Oh, how about that? The ball ends up with Chandler. He controls inside the box, flips it back in, and another goal for Minnesota.
And now going into year 2 as a leader of this team, how do you personally feel like you've grown, not just as an individual, but as a coach just within this year?
Yeah, well, you have the final say in a lot of things like that, right? And so when you're building out a training week, a training month, the details that go into the training session, when you're traveling, what flight do you want to get on, all these different things, everything comes to you. And so really being organized, really being just open, right? Like our assistant coach have a lot of say in that, right? Like I don't like to take everything and just giving them the platform to, you know, be able to coach and lead like that. And so making everything super collaborative, you know, I can step back at times and kind of put myself in when I need to, but sharing the space with the other coaches and the players has made me just be me.
And I admire that about you, is as soon as we told you that you were named Coach of the Month, you right away were like, it's not just me, you know, it is a team and a collaborative effort. Ultimately for the team, what would you consider a successful season?
That's a hard one in our space. For me, I always believe that winning is a part of development. And so I think with anything, if you're going into a season, I think everybody says we want to make the playoffs, we want to win the championship. I think when you look at it like that from perspective, yeah, that's great. In our space and development, we want to help these guys get into the first team. And so when I see some of the guys like, you know, Alex Smear play with the first team, or Loic play with the first team, you know, some of the first team guys that are returned to play, DJ Taylor getting in, and Sam Shishoa, when these guys come into our space, it makes me feel good because, you know, they're getting fitter, they're getting stronger, they're getting more confident, and, you know, hopefully we can continue to see more guys from the second team get into the first team.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys this season, Coach. And we can't wait to see what else is in store for you all.
Thank you so much.
But in the meantime, y'all, this is it for this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in to our next episode to see who I'll be talking to with next. We'll catch you guys next time. For now, I'm April Marie Aguilar. Bye.
Yeah, I know I'm really attractive. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Welcome back. Our score of the half, Atlanta United 2, OCB 0. We will look ahead to the league's upcoming schedule in a moment. But first, on her visit to Minnesota, April Marie Aguilar had a chance to sit down and meet 22-year-old forward Logan Dorsey in this week's Player Profile.
Thank you again for joining me on this episode of Player Profile. I'm April Marie Aguilar, and today joining me is Logan Dorsey of Minnesota United FC2. Thanks so much for the time, Logan.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Well, just this December, you were selected by Minnesota United in the Super Draft. Then you signed with the team in March.
Yep.
Then in just your second game, you scored your first goal, followed by a brace in the next. Describe to me what these last couple of months have been like for you.
Yeah, no, it's been quite a whirlwind, no doubt. I mean, you know, coming in, getting drafted, you know, an unbelievable feeling, and you get a call saying, hey, you have 2 weeks to come and prove yourself, and it's like, great, like, let's do it. And no, so it was great, you know, to get experience with the first team and to kind of get in that environment and see what it's like, and then, you know, an unbelievable feeling to sign a second team contract and you know, kind of get that going and get that process going is awesome. And, you know, coming in and scoring a few goals is great. You know, I'm glad to be able to help the team. So it's been fun, an experience for sure.
And what would a successful season look like for you?
For me, a successful season is, you know, our goal as a team is to win it all. You know, we want to win the league, and I strongly believe that we have the ability to do that with the players that we have and the talent we have, you know, coming up and down from the first team, you know, all the switches. Like, I feel like we've embraced that really well as a group early on in the season, and I think we're going to continue to do that.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about your brother, because he plays for Houston Dynamo. What was the competitive nature like between the two of you growing up?
That's a good question. You know, I think the competitive nature when we were kids was always wanting to beat each other. I think that blossomed into a really great relationship that I have with him now, more of a support role than a competitive role. But, you know, of course, as kids, like, you want to be better, you want to beat him. And, you know, I think that helped propel both of us into, you know, taking the next step in our careers. So I think it was a positive, but now that it's blossomed into a good, comforting relationship, I think it's great.
And his journey, I mean, how has that influenced your own approach to the game?
Yeah, it's, you know, he's given me a lot of support throughout my career. You know, I've obviously, as every career does, like, you have a lot of struggles and you have a lot of things and going on. And I think that his help to me has been, like, without words, it's been probably the greatest thing in my career so far. Like, having someone like him that's been through it all, that's been through what I'm going through is unbelievable. So having that support system is great. And I can't thank him enough for that.
And you mentioned struggles. How have those struggles actually led you to where you are now?
Yeah, I think, you know, I would say the biggest thing for an aspiring pro athlete is being able to deal with struggle. And, you know, dealing with struggle is hard for a lot of people, and it's hard for everybody. So being able to deal with that and kind of take positives and little things away from everything that you're doing, even when you're in one of those slumps, is like, I think that's the greatest thing you can do as an athlete.
And is there a specific moment or perhaps piece of advice that Griffin has provided you that's had a significant impact on you?
I would say the biggest thing that he's done for me is kind of just been there. He's been there, you know, through the successes and saying, hey, like, you know, maybe you don't need to get so high on this, or, you know, when you're in a low, like, hey, you're good, like, you're right where you need to be. Like, I think kind of just being there constantly throughout the entire process has been great. Like, kind of keeping me balanced is one thing that he does really well, which I really appreciate.
And you're certainly lucky because you do have a brother who's a professional.
Yeah.
But with that being said, how important is it to just have that support system?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's everything. I struggle with it because I think everybody needs it, and I'm so grateful that I have it, but not everybody has it, you know? So I think, you know, it's a great advantage for me, and maybe being able to pass on some of the information that he gives to me to other players that are struggling within our team and, you know, close friends, I think is great to be able to do.
I love that. Well, best of luck to you and your team, Logan.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Player Profile. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be talking to. For now, I'm April Marie. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Action.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, 'cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake, and I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like, so looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself, and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself, and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Welcome back. 45 minutes in the books. Atlanta United up 2-0 against Orlando City B. Atlanta getting off to a fast start in a game that was delayed for an hour and 22 minutes before opening kick. As we take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes, Platts just playing this back to Mercado. The pressure here by Togashi. Mercado playing the ball forward, unable to get it to his intended target. And there's we say, just plays it up. And Mercado, poor giveaway right there by the keeper of Orlando City B. And we say, making OCB pay. And Armas here getting a great strike, but knocked away by Mercado. Here Armas again, once again on the ball from long range and slapped down by Mercado. He's been under pressure early in this game. Solis would give the ball up to Ellis. Ellis slots it through for Muhammad. Muhammad to the near post, kicked aside. Here, a great opportunity off the set piece. Armas off the post. Nearly got one to bend in. And here, Sean Kui just doing a great job heading into space, allowing it to get to Tagashi. Tagashi able to get around Platts. Mercado once again hesitates. Should I go out for the ball? Should I not? Elects to stay back. Tagashi with back-to-back weeks with a goal for Atlanta United. Our stats at the break, shots on target. That has been key for Atlanta here over the season. 4 shots on target, just 1 for OCB. We need to see Justin Ellis get more involved here in the second half, as well as Shaq Muhammad. We'll see what Bernardo Ryan can also do on the left side of things for this OCB side. Corners even at 3 apiece. OCB with 2 yellow cards in that opening half of play. Atlanta United have now scored 16 goals on the season. With those 2 goals they scored in the first 45, they need to come out with the same mentality as we take a look here at our upcoming schedule. Logan Dorsey and Minnesota United will take on Vancouver Whitecaps 8 p.m. Wednesday. This Atlanta United side will head on the road to take on New York Red Bulls. Meanwhile, Austin FC taking on Lone Star State rival Houston Dynamo Dos. That one will kick at Friday at 8:30 p.m. Atlanta United once again getting an opportunity as they will play Saturday, as well as they will take on Crown Legacy. Both teams back onto the field, and we will have a sub, and Fabian Loyola will come on for Bernardo Ryan. Fabian Loyola coming back from an injury. Talked to Manuel Goldberg about having him back. Really felt like he came back. He was very comfortable on the pitch, great in the attack, creates the handball last week that leads to a goal. But really, they like how he gets involved in the game. It was a process for him coming back from the injury, but went well. But great to see him back on the field. So Fabian Loyola will get an opportunity here. Came on as a sub to start the second half last week for OCB. Mercado will send this away. But Orlando City B, they need to find some life. They need to be more adventurous in the final third. They also need to be more composed, especially in the midfield. Some careless fouls in the midfield against Atlanta United. Atlanta United, just the 1 win on the season. That lone win coming against Inter Miami back on April 7th. They've been in every game other than 1 this season. Usually their games are decided by 1 goal, if not fewer, due to the draws. Here's Loyola. Loyola, quick play back in. Taifi, he was very active on the right side as well for OCB in that first half. Sometimes you're used to seeing Tahir Reed Brown get up on the left wing. We'll see if he gets more involved in the attack as well here in the second 45 minutes of play. Solis trying to get around Saysock. Saysock loses his footing, able to get back on the ball. Good effort right there by Saysock, not losing his composure after he lost his balance. Reed Brown. We say off Reed Brown. Ellis beating to the ball though is Ronan Wynn. two-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit League, where he played at the University of Denver. Second-round pick in this year's MLS Super Draft. Brown trying to get by two defenders. Wynn chips it out. Talking to Ronan Wynn about the difference between college and the program. He talked about the speed of the game and just how quickly you have to think mentally. The mental side playing a big piece, the brain working much faster at this level than it did in college. That's where you see the difference in players, those players that are able to slow the game down. Called here against OCB. You can still see the frustrations, players throwing their hands in the air. Right now, the mental side of things really getting to OCB, not feeling like they're getting the calls going their way. Armas to Blante once again lining up by the ball. Armas with the right to Blante with the left foot. Steve Cook talked about keys to the game, set pieces. Felt they were sloppy in the last meeting between these two sides. Nearly had a goal on a set piece from Armas's right foot earlier in the game, but it hit off the post. Armas into the box, sent away by Jackson Platts. Saysock. Shankui. Wynn. For Tagashi, he's been all over the ball. Shankui. Headed up by Platts. We say, sent away by Platts. To Blante charging with the left. Deflected. Up and over. You say if he doesn't go to the ground, maybe he can keep his footing and give himself a chance to get a little wiggle room to get a shot on target. Corner though here for the Five Stripes. Armas will take it in his second season with the club. Right-footed ball coming. Played in. Mohamed Wyatt play quickly does to Torrey. And a foul call against Atlanta. I think Mohamed Wyatt go quickly there, try and catch Atlanta back as everyone was forward off that corner. Smart play right there from Mohamed. Mohamed, he's a player that's on fire right now. 6 goals and 8 appearances this season. 6 goals right now, tied for 3rd in the league. 8 currently leading. Masans de Rosario of Tacoma, he's been really leading the pack so far this season. Kind Joyner with 4 goals on Friday night, as we'll have a foul called here against Solis. Solis, he won't argue this one. He does have a yellow card. Thomas Williams also with a yellow card in the game for Orlando City. Wynn able to pop up. Talking more with Ronan Wynn about the type of player is. He's a really reliable player. Really a player that likes to get in there, make blocks, and get in an opponent's face, make it difficult for him. He loves the challenge of seeing the league's best strikers. Ransom right now keeping a clean sheet for Atlanta. They do have 2 clean sheets on the season. Offside flag is up. Stabbed away. Taifi. Loyola looking for Muhammad. Back is Mazzaferro. Mazzaferro trying to usher this ball out of play. It's going to stay in on the end line. Mazzaferro nearly took that over the end line, trying to elude the pressure of Muhammad. Physical game here tonight between these two sides. Orlando City all-time lead the series, 4 wins, 1 loss and 2 draws. We say at midfield. Gusky applying the pressure on Armas. We say unable to keep the ball in play, wanted to back heel it to Saysock. Ellis. Ellis, the player of the week in match week 10. Pressured right here by Tablante. Tablante called for the foul. The win over Inter Miami. Ellis with 2 beautiful chip passes, 4 assists, and would ultimately convert on a PK attempt. Ball played in for Gusky. We say now 3 goals on the season, tied for the team lead with Moises Tablante. The 16-year-old goes inside to Saysock. Saysock taps it back, chip ball up and over. Armas really wanted to pass that off to Tagashi, trying to loft it to the back post. Saysock doing a great job just dropping his back for Armas, and Armas, not quite sure, he looked at the ground as well, so maybe he hit the ground, and that really messed everything up for him. Armas. Went back to Ransom. Tablante, step over. Sanchez from long range. Don't mind the effort right there from Sanchez, just didn't get it on target. Good look, had time to tee it up, pick down his spot, sends it wide. Tagashi has Mercado out. Tagashi! Oh, how about that stop by Thomas Williams, getting back to cover up the end line. Tagashi has been a handful. How about this pass by Ransom? Tagashi able to get by Williams, but Williams able to get back to defend. Otherwise, Tagashi could have had a brace. Gosh, it has been a handful tonight, a headache for OCB. Armas once again bringing in an inward swinging ball, near post. Loyola, opposite side, Muhammad, able to track the ball down. Has Taifi inside as well as Tori. Played in, chest down by Sasak, and Ransom comes over for the 5 stripes. Now he'll pick the ball up with Loyola stepping forward. Much different locker room this season for Atlanta United. You look at Sasak being brought in, Mazafera, Tagashi, another player as this ball is played to Sasak but intercepted by Solis. Solis going right up the spine, heavy touch, but foul committed by Armas. And now Armas will be handed a yellow card. First yellow card of the game handed to Atlanta United. Solis pretty much a direct shot on frame. Jackson Platts over to discuss what's going to happen here on this free kick. Solis setting up. Made one save in the game. Solis looking for that first goal for Orlando City B. Hoping that right foot will be lethal. The strike into the wall. Gusky. Tori. Solis switching sides. Loyola. Loyola knocked off the ball and sent away. Gusky looking for Muhammad. For Loyola. Looking for Taifi. Taifi can't get it with his head. That ball just needed to be 2 inches lower, and Taifi has a chance. It's a nice looking pass. Taifi trying to set himself up. Had a great leap. Nearly got to the ball. Platts, deflection. Kept in play though here by Sanchez. Shankui, blocked aside. DeBlante for Sanchez. Sanchez trying to chip it in, but Platts right there to defend. Foul called against Atlanta. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Emory Healthcare. Solis trying to get around Saysock. Shanqui flying up the field. Heavy touch by Shanqui. Torrey able to win the ball for Orlando City B. Taifi loses possession and grabs the jersey of Shanqui. Shanqui, another youngster seeing time with the first team. Balance of veteran players as well as young teenagers that are really able to learn from some of the older players. Talking with Steve Cook about this locker room, really feels like it's a good locker room. One of the big things that comes into play is chemistry, but competitiveness, but a real big thing, character. The character of the men, the attitude, especially when they face adversity. Once again, having to go on the road when they thought they were having a home game, but really how they step up and they face that. And credit to these players and what they've done. You can't praise them enough. These players are really committed and fighters. And here's a chance now for Reed Brown. Cuts it inside, but sent away by Mazzaferro. And a corner now for Orlando City B. Set pieces were key in the first meeting between these two teams. Orlando City B, this would be a great time to get their first goal right here off a corner. Loyola so far the lone sub of the game. Came on after the break. Sets up an outward swinging ball. Whips it in. Head it up. Gusky. Torrey. And a corner now once again for Orlando City B. Taifi will head to the far side of the field. The service into the heart of the area. Chance here for Solis, but sends it up and over. Solis able to get to the ball, but can't get it on frame. Ball right to the spot. Solis just gets underneath it. OCB, they've struggled in the final 30 minutes of games. Just 3 goals scored in that time. First time this season they've allowed a game in the first 15 minutes. That coming from the 6-year-old Gabriel Luise. Kenny Togashi would follow it up in the 45th minute, his 2nd goal of the season. Now has 2 goals to go with 4 assists on the year. Luise to his left foot. Luise loves to get on his dominant side. He does not hesitate when he has a chance to get a look at frame. Here's that high press that's caused issues here tonight for Orlando City B. Blante, good battle there between him and Mohamed. Seesaw called for the foul. Sanchez, Tagashi turns, pauses, loses his shin guard. Tagashi with a strike, and he strikes again! A brace for Cayman Tagashi. Scores his first MLS Next goal last week, and he has 2 of them here this evening. Just drops it off, brings it off the turn, right to the right, goes far post, and adds to the goal total for the 5 stripes. They now have 3 on the scoreboard. Three to 0 here in the 69th minute. Cayman Tagashi with his first career brace in MLS Next Pro. 31 years old. He brings so much experience, signed with the first team, but a player you can just see his relentless effort, never gives up on the play. Again, you go back to his first goal. Here's maybe an opportunity, offside flag up against Orlando City B. But you can just see the effort and how much he wants to work to try and get to the ball, to try to pass the ball off, where he has an opportunity to give it up to his his teammates. He does a good job of being unselfish, whether he's trying to go for goal or just drop it off and create an opportunity. Solis, Saysock trying to grab his shoulder, unable to slow him down. Ellis drops it off. Loyola with the left. Got a great look, but sent the shot wide. Well, if you scored a goal in this game, you are off for Atlanta United, as Cayman Tagashi will head off the field. Rodrigo Neri will come on. And also coming off the field will be Gabriel Wise. And coming onto the field now will be Ryan Carmichael. So a brace for Cayman Tagashi, his first in his MLS Next Pro career. We say now with 3 goals on the season. Tagashi also with 3 goals on the season. Moises Tablante came into the evening the only player on Atlanta United with 3 goals. He's now joined by 2 of his teammates. That's the thing that Steve Cook has talked about, the statistics, especially offensively, what they're doing, creating chances. 5th in shots on target coming in, 8th in shots. This is played up for Reed Brown, but Saysock, slow roller back for Ransom. Clears it up the middle, but right to Loyola. Loyola blasted over. Had a chance to get one back. A poor mistake by the 17-year-old in Ransom, but Loyola unable to take advantage. Ransom just playing the ball right up the gut, right into the path of Loyola, much like we saw in the first half on Gabriel Wise's goal, where Mercado played it right to the winger of Atlanta, but Wise able to strike and score. Torrey charging up, coming up is Ransom. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Gallagher. If Loyola can get that ball to go in, that might change the momentum over to Orlando City B. Loyola Torrey. Reed Brown for Solis. Solis, scoop pass. Solis, Mohammed. Azafara doing a good job shielding away Mohammed. There's another veteran player coming over Atlanta, doing a great job using his body to his advantages. We'll have a pair of subs come on now for Orlando City B. Hayden Sargis will come on. Also coming on to the field will be Diego Pereira. Shankwi unable to elude the pressure there of Taifi, and then Taifi goes stumbling to the ground. Ellis crosses midfield. Solis. Solis able to keep his footing. Shankwi slows down at the moment. Ellis in the circle. Taifi high in pursuit. To Blante. Striding up the field to Blante. Step over, tripped up. Williams said no foul, thought he got it with his foot. Williams still wagging the finger, that's not gonna help. Take a look back and see if he did get this cleanly. It's Blante working his way inside against his former teammate. And you can see the foot of Williams stepping on the right foot of Tablante. Servando Berna in the perfect position to see that. Earlier, Armas had a chance here, a couple yards outside the box, hit it off the post. See if the captain takes this or if he'll give it off to Tablante, who earned the foul. Discussion here between the two players. Mercado sets up his wall, likes what he sees. Armas with a strike, and this one well over. Another week that Atlanta has had to go on the road. Facing adversity is something that Steve Cook talked about, how they will not make any excuses. They welcome the pressure, they welcome the adversity, and really that's going to be a thing that's going to help these players mentally going forward. When things don't go your way, how do you respond? And they're doing a great job here tonight against Orlando City B. We'll have another sub here. Noam Abdullahi will now come in. Thomas Williams will head off. Solis. Loyola. Opportunity here for OCB. Loyola, top of the area. Knocked away. One too many passes right there for OCB. Torrey sends it up. United now trying to hold on for the next 10 minutes. Jonathan Ransom looking for his first ever clean sheet. Chance here from the top of the area, blocked away by Torrey off the volley. Great strike right there by Neri, but unable to get it on frame. Have another pair of subs come on for Atlanta United. Onto the field will come Patrick Weah. He'll replace Moises Tablante. Also coming on will be Aiden Torres, and he'll replace the captain, Javier Armas. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Adidas. Taifi. Loyola. He's had a good presence on the field once again for OCB, but here, a chance for Weah. Weah chips it, stopped with the hand. Mercado just able to get his left paw out to make the save. Poor giveaway in the defensive third for Orlando City B. Weah. Saysock. Sargents will play it back to Mercado. OCB trying to find a lane to work with. Mercado will just play it past midfield. Atlanta doing the little things, just taking away the angles of the passes from Orlando City. Solis for Torrey. Solis fouled on the play by Aiden Torres. Bernard trying to calm things down between these two sides. They'll meet once again in August. Torrey. Solis. Pereira. Mohammed. Orlando City B just not doing enough here in the final third tonight against Atlanta. A couple mistakes really hurt them as well. The biggest coming on the opening goal, ultimately going to Gabriel Wiese in the 4th minute. Torrey on the turn. Onto the ground. On the play is Ronan Wynn. Justin Ellis being kind and helping up Wynn. Next for Atlanta United 2, they will take on New York Red Bulls 2. It'll be Friday night at 5 p.m. Eastern. Meanwhile, Orlando City B will host Chattanooga FC next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Ivy handed a yellow card right there for Orlando City B. Plays it over the head of Torrey. Right idea right there by the keeper. Just needs to get that pass a little bit lower. Sanchez. Shanqui blasted into the stands. Ellis. Pereira will play back. Here's Sargis. Bree Brown. Atlanta, this will be their first win against Orlando City B since April of 2023. They have struggled against the Lions, but here tonight, finding a way. Delayed due to lightning in the area for an hour and 22 minutes. Having to come on the road in a game that was supposed to be played at Kennesaw, Georgia on Friday, but they found a way to overcome the obstacles they faced here this evening to get a win against an Eastern Conference rival. A team that they will see one more time this season in August. Mohammed being held up by Mazzaferro. Solis. Looking for Reed Brown, but back is Sasak. Frustrations boiling over from Reed Brown. Not frustrated there with Sasak, but just frustrated from what's happened here for these 88 minutes. Things not going the way that Orlando City B would like. Ellis. Great job holding up the ball, creating space. Chips it too far for Reed Brown. Ellis, Shankui, another one that they've just really developed over the last year for their respective sides. This ball whipped in, sent away by Sargis. Atlanta taking their sweet time. 5 Stars, this will also be their second win of their season. Their lone win coming against Inter Miami on April 7th. Should probably have a couple more wins under their belt, but sometimes luck doesn't fall your way. Under pressure, gives the ball away, but he's fouled. Looks like we'll have another yellow card handed out as well. Rigo Neri will be handed the yellow card. He's asking why. No one ever agrees. Minutes of stoppage time added on. Ransom looking for his first ever career clean sheet. 2 starts, hasn't started since last July. Comes in, he made one big save here this evening. Nearly gave the ball away to Loyola on a pass out. That's really been his only mistake all night. Loyola got the ball, but shot it over the crossbar. Weah, step over, Weah, blocked aside. Shot by Neri, well off target. Weah, just right foot, Weah with a strike and just wide. Ricardo was caught off balance. Couple good looks in these last couple moments by Weah, but unable to convert. Orlando City B, this will be their 5th loss of the season. Carmichael gets around Solis. Carmichael cuts it across, back post. No one making a run though for Atlanta United. Caden Moore will come on for Cooper Sanchez. Caden Moore on to close out the game. Frustrating night for Orlando City B. Some careless mistakes really doing them in. Atlanta, Steve Cook talked about taking advantage of their opportunities, and they've done that here this evening. Carmichael, Weah. Good battle between Weah and Taifi this time, Taifi winning. Now Atlanta just waiting for the final whistle. And there it is, Atlanta United gets the win on a game that was originally supposed to be played on Friday. They come to Orlando and get the 3-0 win. Gabriel Luise got things going in the 4th minute, but it'd be a brace by Cayman Tagashi that would help propel Atlanta United 2 to this win. First clean sheet ever in Jonathan Ransom's career. But our man of the match here this evening is Cayman Tagashi of Atlanta United. His first career brace, back-to-back games with a goal. They're just fighting for position. He just wanted the ball right there more than Platts. Platts not on the same page with Mercado. Mercado hesitating. Tagashi taking full advantage, and then he wasn't done. How about this little turn right here? Gets to his right foot, goes far post, and gets his second goal of the game to help close out a win for Atlanta. As they get one, it's officially a home game, but they go on the road and they take 3 points from Orlando City B. For our crew, I'm Josh Toll. Once again, our final score, Atlanta United 3, Orlando City 0. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Thank you and good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.